Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your February 2nd, 2022 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Let's just clear away dust. All right. Virgo, February 2nd, 2022, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have Judgment, which is beautiful. And we have the Moon, which is Pisces energy. So if we have Pisces within our natal chart, that's coming through very strongly at the root of our personality during this time. We then have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. And we have the Star, which is Aquarius energy. So if we have Taurus or Aquarius within our natal chart, that's coming through very strongly as part of our inner personality, the part that is really driving us. We then have our emotional self, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, amplifying the Aquarius energy here that we have in our inner selves. And this is a real sense of the heart and the mind really coming together. Things have to be logical as well as heartfelt during this time. It moves us to our public arena self, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Chariot. So the Wheel of Fortune is things are changing, most definitely. And the Chariot is Cancer energy. So if we have Cancer within our natal chart, that's coming through, this is not the Chariot, this is the Creator. And so there is going to be a strong sense of creation coming together, understandings really moving us forward. And that's going to be quite intense and quite powerful during this time. I love that we have two major arcana, in the inner self, in the public arena self. This is going to be a big deal for us. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So this is the Star, Aquarius energy. We have to be mindful of the dreams that we are going after during this time, because part of the angel number 22 is that we start to really connect with our dreams and bring our dreams into reality. And what's going to be happening during this time is that we can be putting a little bit too much on our plate, or we can be easily manipulated by others who are kind of promising our dreams or say that they have the same dreams that we do, and yet they don't really. So just be mindful of this during this time. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. This is balance. This is the root chakra. At the root of us during this time, we need balance. We need harmony. We need to understand who we are, where we're coming from, and why we're coming from this place. Also, a balance of sacred feminine and sacred masculine energy is going to be very important for us during this time, to embrace the heart of it, as well as the practicality, the physicality, as well as the nurturing, which are very stereotypical understandings, but it's going to be that sense, that energy that's going to be really around us during this time. Now, the angel number 22 is telling us that our angels have our backs, that we're on the right track, that our dreams are becoming reality, and that we have to not doubt and fear as we move forward, because doubt and fear is really going to hold us back. We're also being told to think big and be brave. But again, we're being told to be very mindful of how much we put on our plates, how much we're overburdening ourselves. If we're pushing ourselves too far or saying, okay, so everything's going to go my way, so on this day, I'm just going to start doing everything. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of the energy that's around us. I'm going to start doing everything. I'm going to start, moving forward in this exact way and that exact way. And I'm going to just have so much on my plate that the busyness makes me productive. And that's not necessarily going to be the case. So we have to be very mindful of this. We're also aligning with our soul's path, which is absolutely beautiful. Now, to look deeper at the number 22, the Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters, and the word of God is called the lamp, and this means that it is the light by which we live. Now, the word light is found in Scripture 264 times. And when we take 264 and we divide it by 12, which is the number of divine authority, we have 22, which represents the light that we live by, the light that is empowering us, the light that is guiding us during this time. And that's going to be so important for us, Virgo, as we're moving forward, because we're finding ourselves coming out of the box, coming out of this certain way that we've been constrained, the certain part of our personality that we've hidden away, or the certain part of ourselves that we've not let really shine. We could be in this box because that's what success looks like, or that's where my family wanted me to be, or that's where society has put me. And now we're starting to say, well, what about me? Now, this doesn't mean, to take all parts of ourselves, because some just aren't appropriate. Like any violent tendencies need to be looked at and dealt with a professional. But what we're going to see here is that I'm being called. I'm being called towards letting beauty into my life. I'm being called towards aligning with my inner self and what I deeply desire and who I truly am. And as we do this, we're facing a lot of fears, but we're also facing a lot of imbalances within our own self. The moon, the light of the moon, the face of the moon always changes. So the light always changes. And we can even feel at times like the light of God, divinity, the universe, however we say it, however we see it, it changes within our lives. And that's the thing. It's kind of like that statement, when you are closest to me, I'm furthest from you. When you are furthest from me, I'm closest to you. When we need this, we're going to find that it is there, even if it doesn't feel like it. And so as we're facing fears, we're looking at the shadows, we're looking at the doubts, we're looking at the chaos, we're looking at the heartbreak, and we're starting to see, okay, how do I move forward? Where is it that I need to be? What is it that's right for me? What is it that isn't? And we're starting to get a real sense of confidence for ourselves. And we're also starting to take the things that have held us back and looking at them and saying, is that a weakness or is that a strength? Is that a new way of embracing my strength, my power, my understanding? Have I let this be my fear for way too long? And is this fear going to be part of what propels me forward? Meaning that, am I taking a disability, or am I taking something that I see as being a negative and turning it into a positive? And that can be very powerful for us. It's like, instead of seeing certain things as just weaknesses and, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, we're starting to see ourselves as strong and powerful and courageous. It brings us to the Hierophant. It brings us to being able to move forward in our world. It brings us to traditions. It brings us to institutions. It brings us to a place where we're saying, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I desire for my life. This is how I need to move forward for me. And that transforms us. The Hierophant is representative in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck of the Pope. And the Pope in medieval times was the ruling power of the medieval times, of the Western medieval world, right? So here we have this sense of authority coming in, this sense of tradition. But it doesn't have to be, this is the tradition that I was raised in, this is orthodoxy, this is the tradition of my soul and of myself. I need this in order to feel alive, in order to feel connected, in order to truly embrace and enjoy my life. And so the Hierophant comes in and says, what is it that guides you forward? What is it that you want? And it's connecting us with a certain place, a certain time, a certain understanding, and it brings forward our dreams. And why Spirit says a certain time is that we're going to find that certain times of the day work better for us than others, that we need to embrace the way that we stand in our own energy and our own selves. The star comes forward and says, what do you wish for? What is it that you wish for? Not what is it that you cross your fingers and say, oh, I wish to have a new XYZ. But what is it that we wish for within our lives that guide us to prosperity, success, bounty, abundance? Because this is what my soul has been yearning for. This is a way of letting our dreams come forward. And this is a time where we need to let our dreams come forward. Because as we do so, we're going to find that we're starting to be the heroes of our own story. And that's going to be so important for our emotional selves, to be the heroes of our stories, to embrace what we desire, to break down those barriers, to cut through the demons that hold back our dreams and our desires, to cut through the poison of the world, to ascend in energy, vibration, and consciousness, to be able to awaken a part of us that has been slumbering for just way too long. And as we're seeing this and as we're saying this, we're embracing our third chakra. We're embracing our words and our desires and what is right for us and what isn't. And as we're doing this, we're going to be finding that we stand in an authority of ourselves more prosperously, more bountifully, more courageously than we have before, because the heart and the mind are working together. The heart and the mind are beginning to see eye to eye. So the heart is saying, I want this, and the mind is saying, well, what about this? And we're going to start to actually have these conversations of emotions. We're going to start to express ourselves and open ourselves in a way that we greatly desire, in a way that we greatly want, in a way that we greatly need. And so as we cut through doubts, fears, and negativity, we find ourselves. And we're starting to say, this is my power. So the sword is the only weapon within the tarot. And the sword in medieval times was only used by nobility, because anybody else who used it, was trained in the sword, could be killed. And so here, we're going to have the sense of, this is the authority of myself. This is the power of me. This is the passion of me. This is the brilliance of me. I have earned this. I desire this. And we're really embracing this in a very quote unquote masculine way. And so as we do this, it means that I am not going to back down. I am, well, not back down, but I'm going to stay firm to what I believe and what I want. I'm looking at what's important to me. I'm looking at what's guiding me. I'm looking at how the doors are opening. And as I do this, I start to see myself. I start to own what it is I want from my life and for my life. And it brings us to the Wheel of Fortune, which here says karma and destiny. It's our karmic path that we're walking on. You know, it's our karmic destiny that we're walking towards. And I remember talking to a Buddhist nun, and she was talking about rebirth. And she said, when all the fire is gone in the fire pit, you cannot make more fire. And so as we're learning our lessons, it does not mean that we have infinite times to come back, if we believe in coming back. What it means is that we are here until the firewood is burnt. And when that firewood is burnt, we have learned all the lessons we will take with us. And this is a time when we're entering into a new season, when we're embracing a new idea of ourselves, when we can feel like we're on a roller coaster ride. But what we're finding is that we cannot burn the ashes. We cannot burn the past anymore. And we do not know the wood of the future. So it's kind of like that wood is all wet. It'll only bring smoke. So we have to stand in the present of the now. And we have to see the changes that are around us. We've come to a completion of the cycle. What does that mean? It brings us to the Creator. It brings us to this place of creation and understanding. It says no. It says no here, which is very interesting. You know, it doesn't say anything else. And so we're finding that as we're creating, it's time to say no to more things than we would. We would want to spread ourselves thin during this time. It's time to even say no to some of the dreams that we have. It's not time for it. It doesn't mean that we give up on ourselves. It means that we start taking care of ourselves and saying, I can handle this and I can handle that, and I need to move forward this way, and I need to embrace this. So no is going to be a powerful, beautiful thing, even though we're going to think it could be a very negative thing. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that is Sununu. Sununu is Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy is the energy of, Sununu is the devil, right? And so the devil comes in and says, what is it that you want? What is it that you need? What is it that's holding you back? What are the chains? And Sununu is chaos. Sununu is chaos, and chaos brings forward creation, but it doesn't care how it's created, and it doesn't care what is created from it. And so this is going to be a time where we have to look at the traumas, the dramas, the chains that have bound our lives, and see the way that we move forward for ourselves. This is going to be a time where we, look at addictions, doubts, fears. And it doesn't mean just addictions that we think of like substance and food. It also means addictions like overanalyzing things and doubting myself all the time and not getting enough sleep and being anxious and eating foods that I know will hurt me, or, doing things that I know are dangerous. Those type of things are going to be very important. We're going to become much more aware. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and it says personal power. This is the solar plexus chakra. And this is a time where in our gut, we have to realize our power, our desire, what we want, who we are, and where is it we want to be within our lives and for ourselves. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message, and this is the Hermit. I love it. The light within the lantern guiding us forward. This is us, Virgo. This is the light that 22 represents. And this is a time that we are embracing this light, this understanding, this passion, this insight, and we are finding the essence of ourselves as we look at the root, as we look at the foundation that we want within our lives, need within our lives, and are moving forward to and for. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and that is judgment. Again, we're rising like the phoenix from the ashes. We're rising to so much more than we realized we needed, we wanted, or that could even be ours. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self, the Three of Swords. We need to name the hurts and the pains that we carry in our minds and in our hearts and say, no longer is this ruling me. No longer does this have power over me. And it can be a long road, most definitely, but it is going to be an important one. Because we're finally giving ourselves a chance to heal. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and that is the King of Cups. Here it says charismatic and warm-hearted and intuitive and empathetic. And that's what we're going to be. Charismatic, warm-hearted, intuitive, empathetic, connecting and caring. But we also know that the only way that we can lead our lives forward to the world that we want, to the embrace of success and power and understanding, is to say, I claim my world, my heart, my soul, myself. I lead by example. I cannot make anybody else do what I want them to do. I cannot force it. I have to be kind of that light I want to see in that world, in my world, for myself. And that's going to be a very powerful thing, not to be swept away in everybody else's emotions, everybody else's traumas and dramas. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo, and may you have a blessed February 2nd.